seasoned puffer, or just taking your first tentative steps on your pipe journey, we've got you covered. Welcome to the Tainted Tavern.
Oh, come into the Tainted Tavern, come raise a glass with me. We may not put the world to right, but we'll sure give it a go.
Okay, hello. As I say, welcome to the Tainted Tavern. I've had a lot of emails, several in fact, from newer pipe smokers who've come upon this channel. Then they've gone to the details, found my email and emailed me directly saying how much they enjoy my videos. So all of you written in saying that, thank you so much. But what a few of them have said is that they're just getting into the pipe smoking journey, and they find in so much conflicting advice on different pipe smoking channels or whatever. So I thought I'd do a quick video today, just have a basic chat and look at what the very essentials that you need when you're starting your pipe smoking journey. Full disclosure, today I am smoking some Cajun cake from Cornell and Deal, which is a vapor, but it's very perique forward. Usually with a vapor, the perique is subdued. It's used as a condiment to give that spicy nature of perique to the Virginias. But with Cajun cake, the perique very much is at the forefront. I did review this tobacco previously on this channel, so here's a little clip of what I thought. Apparently this contains a significant amount of perique, so perique may be the primary taste you're getting with this, that spiciness, but it's not too pungent in terms of spice. I think the way that the Virginias are used in this, they are slowly toasted. It is a rich, deep taste. Figs, maybe even some prune, and quite a considerable spiciness from the perique, that famed peppery taste, but it's not overpowering. And I'm also drinking a Boddington's Draft Bitter. It's a lovely, creamy, traditional British-style beer. People say this have changed over the years. It was owned by Whitbread at one point. It's now under foreign ownership, but it's still brewed in the UK. I find it okay. I mean, it's only 3.4, I think, on the ABV, so it's a session bitter. There's a nice, creamy, old-style beer taste. And as I say, I am smoking the Cajun cake. Now, new pipe smokers, which is the point of this video, what are the very essentials you need? Well, obviously you need a pipe. Ideally, you'd be better off starting with 2 pipes, and by inexpensive pipes, I mean something like a basic little corn cob is superb, because these are only cheap, and they're very sturdy, and you know it's good for a beginner. Or then again, there are Falcons. There are so many beginner pipes, but this pipe I'm smoking here today is only a what we would have called back in the day a basket pipe. So that is an inexpensive. It's a briar pipe, but it's an inexpensive. It's a nice. I like the size of this pipe. It's a lovely pipe to smoke. And then the tobaccos. But I've made some bullet points. Some notes which I'll be getting to shortly, so I'll go through it all. But the very essentials that you need would be, I did have a tray here. Obviously, you'll need some pipe cleaners, a packet of standard pipe cleaners, and you can purchase a pack of pipe cleaners. There used to be back in the day that supermarkets stocked pipe cleaners. Most newsagents stock pipe cleaners, but the way that the smoking world has gone over recent years, you tend now not to find most supermarkets don't stock these. But dedicated tobacconists will, and they're easy to purchase online. A pack of 100 will cost you £1 or £2, so they're not expensive, but essential requirement for pipe smoking. Then you'll need a tamper or a knife. The most common type tamper tools are these, which is a 3-in-1 pipe tool. So you've got the poker here to put down the stem if you get any blockages. You've got a spoon here to dig out any vestiges of tobacco, and you've got this piece here that acts as a tamper. My favourite type of pipe tool, though, is the pipe knife. This is a Rogers pipe knife. So it's got a blade. It's got a poker, and it's got a tamper there on the end. I just like this type of design. And Rogers are very good. Made in Sheffield, so Sheffield steel. Really good quality knives, and of course you can use the blade to do some light reaming. Reaming, of course, for newcomers, and that's the point of this video. Reaming is scraping off excess cake which is built up in the bowl, and you can do it lightly with one of these knives. You can buy a dedicated reaming tool. Again, they're inexpensive, a few pound, something like this. But you don't. This is not an essential in starting out your journey. Basically, it's similar to the reamer. So you've got two blades here. A good thing about these little tools, though, is you put it in the bowl there. Now, because of the length of the width of the blades, and you can set what width you need. So you can do a small bowl or a large bowl, and you simply place it in. Then you twist it a few times, and it'll take off any excess cake. You don't really need to ream corn cobs. I'm just using this as an example. So sort of a corkscrew effect, just push it back and forth. The stem come off my corn cob there, but it pushes back in. It's obviously loose. And then you will bring out, I don't know if the camera picked that up, but it's brought out some of the excess cake, the excess carbon buildup you get inside the pipe. As I say, the corn cobs are cheap pipes. These are Missouri Meerschaum. Missouri Meerschaum are a company or a brand that you can't go wrong with. It's a genuine Meerschaum cob. It's a genuine, rather, Missouri cob. Grown in the sunshine down in the southern states of the USA, and it's got an hardwood insert at the bottom which helps that it doesn't burn out. But I've got so many cobs in my collections, never had a problem with any of them. I highly recommend them. Pipe tools come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, this one's designed to fit on a key ring, and I've usually got this on my car keys, but I took it off today to show you. It's a similar thing to the other I showed you. You've got your tamper, you've got your spoon, you've got your poker, and you've got an extra then kind of very blunt blade there. Or there's this design, which is basically a same thing, a poker, a spoon, and a tamper. You can turn the tamper to the head. It's also got an handy little bottle opener on the end of that one. And this is a vintage pipe knife, a very sharp this is. There's no make stamped on this, but this is a really good quality. Whoops, I nearly dropped it. This is a really good quality knife, which I purchased several years back from eBay. Love as I say, the blade on here is really keen. It's really sharp, and the poker is a bit thicker than you get on the modern type pipe knife. So that's basically all you need to start off. But I've gone through some notes here, and when I've written down some bullet points of some subjects that probably are well known to most pipe smokers, but for beginners, it's well worth bearing in mind. Pipe smoking has been around for a very, very long time. In fact, archaeological investigations discovered in Egyptian tombs crude pipes made from copper, which would have been used to smoke herbs of some kind, maybe hashish or along those lines. And that was around 200 BC. The Romans, the Celts, Greek, and Nordic tribes of all smoked pipes or forms of pipes. A Viking with a pipe, how cool is that? Tobacco was used by Native Americans as far back as 1500 BC for religious ceremonies, and of course there's the famous almost cliched image now in Western movies of the peace pipe, but that was a thing too. Columbus, of course, discovered pipe smoking and also saw some tribes smoking rolled up tobacco leaves, which is a rudimentary form of cigar. Tobacco smoking took off in Europe in the 16th century when James Nicot, which is where we get the name nicotine is named for James Nicot, he introduced it to France after serving as an ambassador to Portugal. Now, modern pipes come in many shapes and sizes and materials. You can get meerschaum, you can get corncob, you can get briar, but the briar is by far the most common type of material used for making pipes, but it's not necessarily the best. But a good briar pipe will always give you a good quality smoke. Although you must keep your pipe clean, no matter how expensive your pipe, how good your pipe. If you just neglect the cleaning, it's going to taste bitter. It's not going to give you that sweet tobacco taste, and it's not going to give you a different tobacco taste with each bowl either, because if you don't look after your pipe, if you don't clean it properly, then it'll ghost from previous smoke. So you could be smoking a vapor such as this Cajun cake, and say the last pipe I smoked, the last bowl I smoked in here could have been, for instance, an heavy English blend. Then that heavy English would have left a ghost behind that would taint the taste of the Cajun cake, the Perique in the Cajun cake. But you don't have to thoroughly clean the pipe after every smoke. And perhaps there's another video there of how to clean your pipe, but it's not a complicated process. It's quite simple, and it doesn't take too long. Now, next to the pipe is the most important thing. Next to the pipe itself is the tobacco used, and there are so many great tobaccos out there.
It was 20 years ago today. The Tainted Tavern taught us all to puff. We've been puffing in and out of style, but no matter what they do to us, we're never quick to rile. We're the Tainted Tavern Pipe Smokers Club, and we'd like you all to grab a bowl and listen to some rock and roll.
Various forms of tobacco, but basically pipe tobacco falls intrinsically into two different types, aromatics and non-aromatics. But each of those then will have a load of subspecies of tobacco, if you like, in the non-aromatics, such as Englishes or Balkans. Balkan and English are very much the same thing, and again, I did a video on that, and you'll be able to find that if you go through the archives of this channel. Just go to the playlist, mark Legacy of the Pipe, and it'll bring up a playlist of all my pipe-related videos, and you'll be able to find it in there. But they are very much the same. We've got Navy-style mixes, we've got Scottish-style mixes, and again, when you go to aromatics, you've got so many different types of aromatics. You've got American-style aromatics, which tend to be far more cased than the British-style aromatics, or you've got the Danish make a lot of aromatic-type tobaccos. But the actual tobaccos themselves, now burley is one of the most common tobacco varieties which you'll find in most pipe tobaccos, not all but most. Burley is used a lot in cigarettes. It gives a nutty taste to my palate, but it's used as a base tobacco. It provides, it smooths down the more stronger tasting tobacco, such as say Latakia, and it also gives a reasonable nicotine hit. Cavendish then is another common word you'll use about pipe tobaccos, but Cavendish is a process rather than the tobacco itself, in which the tobacco is sweetened during the curing process, often with things like whiskey or rum or licorice or vanilla or various different types of flavors, and it's usually then a black leaf, but a Cavendish can be made from most forms of tobacco. So Cavendish in itself is not a varietal of tobacco, it's rather a process. Then you've got Latakia. Now Latakia is a very smoky, charcoaly, pungent type of pipe tobacco. I love Latakia. Latakia is used in a lot of English blends. It's generally the backbone to English blends. And because Latakia is a condiment tobacco, it's a very potent tobacco. Not so much in nicotine. Latakia is not actually as potent on nicotine as other forms of tobacco leaf, but it's very potent in terms of taste. So it's used sparingly in most blends. But one of my favorite tobaccos at the moment, I am a Latakia fiend. I'm smoking a lot of Pessi Canoe Latakia 40. So that's 40% Latakia, which we would call a Latakia bomb. I really enjoy that stuff. I think it's a fantastic tobacco. Now, it just shows that you're always learning on your pipe smoking journey, because I've been smoking pipes for a great many years, several decades now, and I've always considered Latakia to be very strong on nicotine because of the taste, the potent taste you get from Latakia. But when I started doing this channel, as I say, I've smoked Latakia for years. A commenter pointed out to me that Latakia is not actually strong in nicotine. And I thought, no, you're wrong about that. But I did some research, and I did find that in terms of nicotine and relative to other tobaccos, the Latakia is not that potent. So there you are, you're always learning something, even if you're a seasoned pipe smoker like myself. Orientals, also called Turkish, are the spicy, nutty kind of tobaccos used in a lot of English blends. In fact, you can argue that a tobacco blend that claims to be English but doesn't have any Orientals, that is Turkish or whatever, is not a true English, and there is some justification for that statement. Now, Virginia is by far the most common form of tobacco, variety of tobacco. It's used in cigarettes, it's used in cigars, it's used in a lot of pipe tobaccos. Virginia gives a natural tobacco taste, very earthy. I've heard people describe it as grassy and straw-like. To me, Virginia always feels rustic. I don't know why, but if I'm smoking a good Virginia, I've always got feel like I'm in amongst the wonderful English countryside or the Welsh countryside. Virginia tobacco to me does represent Mother Nature. It's just one of those things. And then, of course, there's the way you smoke your pipe. And beginners can tend to get tongue bite because they smoke too fast. You should slow down with your pipe and enjoy the pipe, because after all, the ritual of packing the pipe, lighting the pipe, perhaps cleaning the pipe before you smoke, that all takes time. So when you've dedicated the time to doing that, to packing your pipe properly, to cleaning your pipe, you don't want to suddenly start puffing away like a lunatic. And enjoy, sip rather than puff away like crazy. Sip the tobacco, allow it to traverse around your mouth, setting off your taste buds before allowing it to seep out. And as for inhaling, I personally, I know some people do inhale pipe tobacco. I try not to, but it doesn't need to be inhaled. You find a lot of ex-cigarette smokers who take up a pipe will tend to inhale the tobacco, but I feel that's detrimental to the true enjoyment. I don't think you need to inhale. And as for getting the nicotine, which is the drug, if you like, in tobacco, you don't need to inhale it into your lungs to get that nicotine. The nicotine's absorbed through your mouth, so. But relax with your pipe. Take gentle puffs, gentle sips. Sit back and reflect on the day you've just had, or if you're like me and you always have a morning pipe in the garden, reflect on the day ahead. Pair your pipe with a good whiskey or a beer or a coffee or whatever, even a soda, whatever you like. Though I smoke a lot of, as I say, English blends, a lot of Latakia blends. And I do find that a pipe pairs well either with a really good, robust beer style, such as a bitter or a stout, or more often the whiskey. I do love whiskey. I don't get drunk every single night, but I probably drink a bottle of whiskey a week to 10 days. A bottle will last me. I usually have a couple of glasses most evenings, and I experiment with whiskies the same as I experiment with pipe tobacco. So I'm always trying different pipe blends, different tobacco blends, and I'm quite often trying different whiskies. I haven't found a whiskey I truly don't like, but Scotch goes well, for instance, with a Latakia type tobacco, an English style tobacco. I find that Scotch goes best with that. If I'm smoking something like a vapor, so Perica Virginia, which is what the Cajun cake is, then I feel then that it perhaps fit into a bourbon. One of my favourite bourbons, go-to bourbon for me, is Wild Turkey. Strangely, I prefer the standard Wild Turkey, which would be the 87 proof, to the 101, although I do like both. I also like Buffalo Trace, Maker's Mark. I like a lot of bourbons. But, quite often a pipe can go well with a coffee. Good, reasonably potent coffee can accompany a smoke. There are no hard and fast rules, I don't think. It's what you enjoy yourself, and you shouldn't listen to what other people say. If they say, "Oh, that's not the correct thing to drink with a bowl of tobacco," that's not correct. Try their recommendations. You never know. You may find that whatever they recommend pairs better with pipe tobacco than any other form of beverage. But But there's no right and wrong way, is what I'm trying to say. It's what you enjoy. So I say just sit back, enjoy the pipe, don't rush your pipe, puff away gently, sip the tobacco, sip the tobacco smoke rather than attacking the pipe. It shouldn't be attacked. You should enjoy. I mean, eventually, new pipe smokers will develop their own way of smoking, their own style of smoking. Cajun cake is really nice, very spicy. It is Perique forward. So that was just a quick video for you. Quick bit of advice for new pipe smokers. Any advice that you feel that would be useful for new pipe smokers to know, then please drop that down below in the comments. Comment about any of the other subjects I've mentioned in this video. So thanks for watching. This has been the Tainted Tavern. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, then please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. It doesn't cost you anything, and I'd really appreciate that. And also, see that little bell down below? Click on that bell to be notified next time we upload a video. And if you're watching on your phone, then please press the like button. It all helps. So thanks for watching. You've been watching the Tainted Tavern. I've been Gary Dobbs. This has been the Pipe Smoker's Bible. So cheers, yaki da, and see you soon.
Please come back soon.